A school of thought says plants can survive without humans, but humans cannot survive without plants. This assertion readily drives John Muir's belief that between every two pine trees, there is a door leading to a new way of life. The new life, some argue, is a traditional African medicine where the use of indigenous herb is combined with aspects of African spirituality. Statistics show that arguably about 80% of Africa's population, especially in the rural areas, rely on traditional medicine for their basic health needs. Well, some believe the accessibility and affordability of the traditional medicine makes it significant and safe. However, others might seem reserved with the practice, predominantly in Africa. Although traditional health practitioners have over time faced historical bias from Western and orthodox medicine, health institutions and experts recognize their contribution to healthcare services. This further affirms the move for the enactment of the Traditional Health Practitioners Act 2007, which established the interim Traditional Health Practitioners Council. But one concern that seems quite intimidating, so to speak, is a campaign to facilitate the integration of traditional medicine into health systems in Africa. And earlier this year, the Pan-African Parliament amplified these calls by stepping up parliamentary campaign in this regard. More importantly, the improved recognition of traditional medicine got a thumbs up with the first World Health Organization Global Summit this August with the theme, Health and Well-being for All. As Nigeria joins to mark the African Traditional Medicine Day, we take a look at traditional medicine for holistic health and well-being. This is Nigeria Today. I am Eucharia Clinton. Welcome. Joining me to discuss traditional medicine for holistic health and well-being is Tanongo Tile, Director, Traditional, Complementary and Alternative Medicine Department, Federal Ministry of Health. You're welcome to Nigeria Today.
Thank you for having me.
Also joining us is Dr. Fidelis Okeke, National Secretary, Nigerian Union of Practitioners of Complementary and Alternative Medicine. Glad to have you here in Nigeria Today.
Thank you.
So I will start with you, Mr. Tanongo. Every August 31st is African Traditional Medicine Day. How central is the theme, which amplifies the contribution of traditional medicine to holistic health and well-being?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Traditional medicine, let me start by defining it. It's not just medicine. It's a system of health care which has to do with skills, knowledge, and practices, that has been passed from generation to generation, used for, prevention, for treatment of ailments and the rest. So that is traditional medicine. Of course, medicines are also part of it. So from that definition of traditional medicine, you can know that it is holistic in the sense that it addresses physical, mental, and social well-being of an individual. And so that is why this the theme for this year is very good, and it actually defines what traditional medicine is. Traditional medicine has to do, it treats holistically because it not only addresses the disease, it considers the environment as well, the environment in which the human beings live, and it considers everything, and so it addresses physical, mental, and the social life of the humans, cultural, and that is why it is accepted. No matter if it's not developed, the human body, craves for it. You can't stop it. It's part of the nature, and That is it. That is traditional medicine. Yeah.
So, Dr. Fidelis, for years, the issue of regulated practice has been on the front burner. How can the contribution of traditional health practitioners in primary healthcare activities be enhanced and facilitated?
Thank you very much. Well, traditional medicine, like the former speaker said, is not only the medicine, but all other things encompassing. For instance, you mentioned that traditional medicine started long ago when you were introducing this very particular program. Over 2,000 years ago, traditional medicine started right from our forefather generations. Now, as we are here now, you don't 100% of what you do locally and nutritionally based on the same traditional medicine. Therefore, we depend 100% on traditional medicine. I'm a homeopath by training and quality assurance assessor on traditional medicine. When you come in details about the practice of traditional medicine in Africa, you continue to wonder how the old people managed to be curing themselves through all these herbs without actually going into training. But today, we are drifting a bit because this is modern, this is a technological world. We have to make this the modern. We have to do a lot of research. You understand? Like the Nigerian standard qualification, which the traditional medicine practitioners are supposed to follow. You just don't practice in isolation. The Nigerian government, after the COVID, have paid much attention to traditional medicine therapy because you can't underrate its importance.
Okay, still on you, Dr. Fidelis. You know, when you talk about traditional medicine, people have this there's this perception that it's not just you know, the medicine. There are other things you know, involved. So to tell us, is there any other thing like spirituality involved in the traditional medicine? Because of course, especially for some you know, religious persons, they feel there are more to it than just, you know, the traditional medicine. Speak to us on that.
Right. Why you call it traditional? Is indigenous. And what is indigenous? Every doctor, the objective of every doctor is to heal the sick, no matter what form it takes, provided you don't kill, you don't shed blood. But once you can heal a disease, in traditional medicine, a lot of things are involved. But most importantly, in olden period, you have to make, some traditional practitioners have to make inquiries on maybe through incantations, through divinations, which even the MBTE has streamlined in quality assurance. You understand what I'm saying? But those secret ones, the practitioners don't want us to know. We are still making some inroads into inquiries or to identify those areas that are hidden. Okay. But I believe that within a short possible period, we are bringing it together into training, because when you train them, you now give them a lighter image to practice instead of those local areas or local methods or systems they use. For instance, when there's one training we had at Enugu on traditional medicine practitioners. When you come to them, what is always in their mind is, especially those modern ones now, those ones that are reading traditional medicine as a course, maybe in overseas, even Nigeria now the NUC has made it imperative that all these things, the alternative and traditional medicine, are going to be included. They have already included it in the curriculum of the universities. So I believe within this period, all those things we believe they are hiding, all of them will come to limelight. If they are not good enough, they can be shed off.
Okay, Mr. Tanongo, in broad terms, now, what constitute traditional healthcare practitioners and practice, and how can their activities be regulated? Because he mentioned something in that regard. So how can the activities be regulated?
Okay, thank you very much. Traditional medicine is, as I said, it's a healthcare system, and so it's broad, and so there are branches. You know, as you said, the widest one is herbal medicine. We have bone setters, it's a branch of it. And then that spirituality you are talking about is another small branch of it.
Okay. And
sometimes they used to mix the branches, like maybe spiritualists with, use herbs as well. In fact, majority of the branches use medicinal plants. Let me put it that way. They use medicinal plants. And so regulation in traditional medicine is in two parts: the products on one side and the practitioners on the other side. The products, like for herbal medicinal products, we have regulation for them. Like we have a body that does that, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control. They regulate the herbal medicines products, but only when you commercialize it, because there are some practitioners that will just do some preparation and give to their patients. That one doesn't need regulation or approval from NAFDAC. But when you want to commercialize it, now it has to be regulated. It has to go through tests, and then it has to be accepted and then listed. Then on the area of practitioners, there's no regulation because there's no body for regulation. But for CAM, that is complementary and alternative medicine, which is traditional medicine of other countries. There are about 5 aspects of it that are being regulated by the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria. Even though the regulators do not have the capacity to regulate, but it is in the law, and they are responsible for that. But the rest of the practices, there's no body for regulation, and that is why the Federal Ministry of Health is doing all it could to have a body like that, because we can't leave about 80% of Nigerians under, under treatment of people who are not regulated. And that is why the ministry is working hard to get a council for that. We made attempts in the last assembly, which our bill was even passed and sent to Mr. President for action, but because it came in late, it was not assented to. It is gone back, but we are working so that it goes back, so that Mr. President can assent to it, so that we have that body to regulate.
Okay.
Because it's very, very important.
Thank you very much. We have to go on break now. We'll take a break. It's still Nigeria Today. We'll take a break now and listen to Nigerians on what they know about traditional medicine, and as put together by Dennis Temple. Stay with us.
As so many people that have seen that it's working for them, that they are, testifying, I believe if me can take it, I believe if I have that faith, it will work for me. Then for other people, they can still try it, because our forefather then, that is what they have been taking before any other English medicine.
Traditional medicine, our forefathers before the adventure of the whites knows how to take good care of themselves. And by then, they have been doing a lot of things. People like us who were born in the 60s, who have been taken care of with their traditional medicines. But some of them have not been scientifically proven. But those that have been scientifically proven, that is why you see the federal government licensing some of them. So I think those that has been licensed and been proved being effective can be put to use.
I noticed that traditional medicine has to do with, it can be with traditional practices, right? There are other things attached to it. It is not just the knowledge that we have, that I grew up knowing that it's just leaves. There are other things that need to be created, maybe awareness of what the traditional medicine entails.
Welcome back. It is still Nigeria Today, and we are talking about traditional medicine for holistic health and well-being. And my guests are still here with me, two gentlemen. Now, Mr. Fidelis, you had the reaction of people there. Now, what do you have to say about some of the comments made there?
Well, some of the comments, some of them are true, because in traditional medicine, the major problem in traditional medicine, we have a lot of challenges. Most of them are not trained. There's no standard qualification in traditional medicine. Anybody can come in and do it anyhow the person wishes, depending on the locality. And that is why, like my colleague have just said, in regulation, a lot of things supposed to be done.
There should be proper regulations for that, so that
and that is why MBTE has included traditional medicine in national standard qualification, so that the quality assurance assessors can assess them before they are going to be licensed, because there's no criteria you can hold to license traditional medical practitioners except through that assessment. So there are a lot of requirements are going to be done on them, so that if they qualify, maybe some of them that are going to be trained under traditional medicine practitioners 1 or practitioners 2, which the qualification the MBT has put across as even first school level certificate. So when you look at the disparities, that's where you have disparities in practice. So in regulation, in setting a standard is very important, which government has taken up. Right from, especially when after the COVID, they are more serious over it than before. So presently, a lot of things are being streamlined on traditional medicine practice in this country.
Okay, that brings us back to you, Mr. Tananga. So what is the Federal Ministry of Health doing in terms of monitoring these practitioners? Because it's important, because a lot of people, especially in the rural areas, depend on these people for some kind of form of treatment and all of that.
Yeah, so that is why I said government is concerned, because we can't leave a good percentage of Nigerians in the hands of people that are not regulated, and that is why the ministry even has a department now, to bring out policies, guidelines, and then try to see how to, make sure to regulate, to monitor. And part of what we are doing is that council. It's a body that we even look at the curriculum of the practitioners, the standards, approved standards, and then even the premises, it has to be, the specifications have to be there. Another thing, urgent one we are doing is to try and train them, not on their practice, but on those areas that we improve them. We know that their hygienic condition is not good. Their good manufacturing practice is not there. And other things. But for the knowledge of how to get their medicines, they are the ones that know it, because they have learned it from, from their forefathers and all that. So we have trained, we have taken them through a lot of courses, so that they will improve on what they are doing. So we are doing that, and it's a continuous process.
And do you know how many they are?
Yeah, we are taking a database.
Okay.
Currently, we are doing that. We first of all brought them under one association so that it could be easier for us to even get to have their database. We brought them under one body, one association. But as time went on, they became divided. You know, some are looking at the political side of it because the union, the executives divided, the BOT also divided. And one unfortunate thing is that the main practitioners do not even come out. They are even so busy that they don't even come out.
That was what I was asking.
But
Do you know
the ones that come out are the ones that are not even real. And so there's a problem. So the database will help us so that even wherever you are, we can get your records, and then we know where you are, we have your data. Whenever we want to train them, we know who to call.
Could it be because they are probably scared of something of the authorities for them not to?
You mean the ones, the real ones?
Yes.
Because they are even too busy where they are.
Okay.
They don't even have the time that these other ones are moving about. They are even too busy in their communities. So they don't even have that time, you know, to be coming out. And so that is, we need this database and we are working on it. Yeah.
Okay, talking about the practicing or talking about the practitioners now, which of course you're one of them, how has it been, you know, has there been any kind of collaboration with the traditional medicine practitioners and our conventional medicine practitioners? Because sometimes there seems to be a kind of disagreement. They really, like our conventional doctors, don't really seem to believe some of the efficacy of some of the, especially the herbal products. So tell us about the acceptability.
Okay, thank you. Conventional medicine practitioners never believed in any other thing outside their own practice. Both alternative, they are both the alternative medicine, complementary alternative medicine, and the traditional. They don't believe that we are doing anything. They always complain that none of the practices are being scientific. So that is the problem. And there's no way, because of this disparity now, they never believed that no other thing can happen, no other place, no other practitioner can cure a sickness outside them. For instance, in homeopathy, they don't even believe, because we have homeopathic medicines now in this country that have been listed by the NAFDAC, who the Federal Ministry of Health knows about. And because of, and that is the reason why the Federal Ministry of Health...
Why do you think they don't believe? Why do you think they don't believe?
You mean the
Yes.
Well, I wouldn't know. This is one of the problems we have in this country. Well, no, what I'm saying is that they always say it doesn't based on science research.
Maybe quite a lot of things still need to be done for there to be acceptability,
yes.
You know, in that.
And that is why integration of these practices are very difficult in this country.
Well, thank you very much. That's where we'll end it for Nigeria today, but we most appreciate our guests for their time and contribution. Mr. Tanongo Tile, Director of Traditional, Complementary and Alternative Medicine Department, Federal Ministry of Health. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
And also Dr. Fidelis Okeke, National Secretary, Nigerian Union of Complementary Alternative Medicine Practitioners. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And for our viewer, thank you for always being a part of this. Don't forget, Nigeria Today, weekdays at 7:30 p.m. on NTA News 24. You can watch this and other episodes on www.youtube.com/NTA News 24 Hub. Thanks for watching. I am Eucharia Clinton. Goodbye.